6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. Some political parties and politically motivated groups are planning for trade union action today with unfair demands. The President outlines plans to modernize the agriculture industry. An MOU will be signed between the Sir John Kothalavala Defence University, Hospital and the Health Ministry with the sole purpose of extending a better health service to the country. The Sports Minister is to make a special statement in Parliament today. The Agriculture Minister announces that the price of MOP fertilizer to be further slashed. 2,238 Gramal Nidadaris will be recruited after the 2nd of December exam. The Minister of Trade Nalin Fernando says VAT tariffs will be reduced to 400 commodities during the festive season. In news overseas, Israel-Hamas hold third hostage prisoner swap. Hamas seeks pause extension. In sports news, Lankan marathoners excel in selection trial for international races. In a historic move to empower the agricultural sector and strengthen the export economy, President Ranil Wickremesinghe unveiled the Urumaya Freehold Deed Programme during the first phase of the public awareness campaign for the 2024 budget proposal. The President emphasized that this programme is a tribute to the farmers who have been the backbone of the nation for generations. President Wickremesinghe outlined the key objectives of the initiative, stating that the export economy would be significantly fortified by transforming every village into an enterprise village. He also revealed plans to establish agriculture modernization service centres, providing essential facilities to support the growth of the agricultural industry. Addressing the gathering in Nochiagam, Anuradhapura on Saturday, the head of state raised a pertinent question questioning the allocation of freehold land for the Shangri-La Hotel, while pondering why a similar privilege couldn't be extended to the hard-working farmers who have cultivated the land for generations. He emphasized the potential for generating foreign exchange through strategic land allocations, citing the example of providing land to the Shangri-La Hotel while underscoring the importance of modernizing the agriculture industry as a means to strengthen the export economy. A significant highlight of the program is the allocation of 2 billion rupees in the 2024 budget to provide Urumaya freehold deeds. President Wickremesinghe proposed a departure from the existing deed categories such as Jayabhumi, Saumyabhumi, Swarnabhumi in favour of a unified freehold deed system slated for implementation in 2024. Sports Minister Roshan Ranasinghe is due to make a special statement in Parliament today on the ongoing controversies surrounding the country's cricket crisis. Speaking to the media in this regard, the minister assured that he intends on revealing the truth in this regard in Parliament today. The minister said that he will make a statement today and intends on revealing those behind the current cricket crisis and their end goal in this regard. Quote, what they are going to do, what is the purpose of all this, what is their goal and who is the corrupt gang behind all this. I will make all of this clear on Monday, unquote, Ranasinghe said. The Minister of Trade Nalin Fernando said VAT tariffs will be reduced to 400 commodities during the festive season. These essential commodities will be sold from Sathas outlets located island-wide. The main objective is to provide essential commodities to the consumers at reasonable prices. The minister further said that effective measures have been taken to bring back a normal situation on sugar distribution in the country. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The price of muriate of potash MOP fertilizer, commonly known as Bandipohara, is slated to be reduced to 9,000 rupees for the ongoing Maha harvest season, the Agriculture Minister Mahinda Amaravira stated. The minister noted that the Cabinet of Ministers had approved a proposal tabled by him to further reduce the price of MOP fertilizer to 9,000 rupees. Accordingly, a bag of MOP fertilizer which was previously sold at 19,000 rupees will now be sold at 9,000 rupees by both state-owned fertilizer suppliers, Minister Amaravira said. Amaravira made this announcement in Amilipiti last morning while awarding compensation to those farmers whose crops were destroyed as a result of the arid weather conditions earlier this year. A collective sum of 100 million rupees has been allocated by the government for this purpose. The Home Affairs State Minister Ashok Priyantha said that 2,238 Gramal Nidadaris will be recruited by the government before the 4th of February. The State Minister mentioned this during a meeting with the Gramal Nidadaris in Vennapur DES Division to discuss their issues. He said that the Examination Department will conduct the examination to recruit Gramal Nidadaris on the 2nd of December for chosen candidates who sent their applications in 2021. He said that 2,238 people will be selected for Gramal Nidadari posts from this examination. The State Minister said Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena had instructed him to prepare the service procedure of Gramal Nidadaris at the earliest and to resolve the existing problems of those officials. Multiple state sector and provincial public service trade unions are slated to launch an alibi protest campaign today over several demands. However, the Director General of the President's Trade Union Relations, Saman Ratnapriya, said some political parties and politically motivated groups are involved in trade union action with some sinister motives. These bankrupt groups are staging protests seeking unfair demands. Ms. Ratnapriya further said that these protests are staged to destabilize the country. The protests are organized even after the government announcement of 10,000 rupees increase in the state sector. Therefore, this can be considered as a sabotage effort and to disrupt the day-to-day life life of the innocent civilians. The coordinator of the trade union collective, Chandana Suryarachi, stated that the protest is slated to commence at 12 noon today, demanding a wage increase of 20,000 rupees and increased allowances with effect from January 2024, and for the recovery of the entitlement to pensions for those who joined the state sector in 2016 and afterwards.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
An MOU will be signed between the Sir John Kothawala Defence University Hospital and the Health Ministry with the sole purpose of extending a better health service to the country. Accordingly, the patients at the government hospitals will be provided a facility and opportunity to get medication, operations and other medical treatment at the Kothawala University Hospital. A discussion in this regard was held recently between the Minister, Dr. Ramesh Patirana, and relevant hospital officials. The decision is taken to overcome the problems regarding doctors and nurses and their shortages in government hospitals. The Kothawala Hospital has a capacity of treating several hundred patients with the necessary rooms, beds and medical facilities at a given time.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
And now in Watchlight, the number of dengue cases in several areas of the Western Province and the Kandy district of the Central Province has increased. The National Dengue Control Unit says most of the breeding grounds for mosquitoes have been identified around schools and religious places in many areas. The director of the National Dengue Control Unit, Dr. Nalin Aryaratna, said 73,500 dengue cases have been reported in Sri Lanka so far this year. That came to you in Watchlight. In world news headlines now. Israel and Hamas hold third hostage prisoner swap. Hamas seeks pause extension. China to play constructive role after North Korea launch. The US newspaper says Russia and China executives discuss Russia-Crimea tunnel project. Israel and the Palestinian Islamic group Hamas have conducted their third prisoner hostage swap during the current phase or pause in their fighting. Hamas and relatives of remaining Israeli hostages are seeking to have the pause extended. Israel and Hamas agreed last week to the 4-day pause that began on Friday. The deal commits Hamas to release 50 hostages in all, with Israel required to let 150 Palestinians out of prisons. Hamas freed 17 hostages, 14 Israelis and 3 Thais on Sunday, while the Israeli government announced the release of 39 Palestinians from jails. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi has expressed Beijing's willingness to help denuclearize the Korean Peninsula after North Korea's launch of what it claims to be a military spy satellite last week. Wang met his South Korean counterpart Park Jin in Busan yesterday. South Korean government officials say Park asked China to play a constructive role following North Korea's launch. They also quote him as saying, "It is in the common interest of South Korea and China that North Korea halt its provocations and work towards denuclearization." A major US newspaper has reported that Russian and Chinese business executives with government ties have held secret discussions on plans to build an underwater tunnel connecting Russia to Crimea. Russia unilaterally annexed the southern Ukraine region in 2014. An article in the Washington Post broke the news on Friday, citing communications intercepted by Ukraine security services. Russia and Crimea are currently linked by a bridge which was built by Moscow in 2018. It has served as a key logistics line for Russian forces involved in the invasion of Ukraine. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. Israel and Hamas hold third hostage prisoner swap. Hamas seeks pause extension. China to play constructive role after North Korea launch. US newspaper says Russia and China executives discuss Russia-Crimea tunnel project.
Development news.
Despite external and internal setbacks, the BOI achieved $1.8 billion in total investments with signed and approved projects with FDI projects of $1.5 billion. State Minister Dilum Amnagama said the significant increase in projects is due to the high value of investment in the energy sector. Investments such as the Adani Corporation, Sinopec, RM Parks with Shell and further sectors such as ITC, BPO, tourism and manufacturing are the sectors getting more investments.
Moving on with sports news.
RMS Pushpakumara from the Sri Lanka Army, R.W. Ratnapala and M. Sivaranjan from the Sri Lanka Air Force secured victories in a marathon selection event organised by the Sri Lanka Athletics Club and overseen by Sri Lanka Athletics yesterday. The purpose of this trial was to choose participants for upcoming marathons, including the Asia Marathon, Hong Kong, Vietnam Marathon, the Bangabandhu Marathon scheduled for early next year. The race, covering a 30 kilometres distance, began at the Bandanayake Memorial International Conference Hall, BMICH, and concluded in Pamanugama, Jayala, marking the first ever road race of its kind organised by Sri Lanka Athletic Club.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීර හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account. NSB I Am, a plan for your dream.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
SLT Mobita as a national ICT solution provider was a platinum sponsor for the 41st National IT Conference NITC 2023 held recently organised jointly by the Technology Ministry and the Computer Society of Sri Lanka CSSL. The prestigious event took place at Shangri-La Hotel in Colombo recently. Attending the conference were industry practitioners and academics who were able to update on technological advances, interact with thought leaders in the field and connect with peers too.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go එකක් තියන youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැයි කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all-new NSB Ithru account. NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
And now in economic news, International Monetary Fund IMF will approve the second tranche of the IMF EFF program following the IMF Executive Board approval for the first review to Sri Lanka next month. This would be followed up by a series of other donor fundings, said the Governor of the Central Bank, Dr. Nandalal Veerasinghe, at the CBSL Monetary Policy Press Conference on Friday. He said that the IMF needed assurance from Sri Lanka's creditors and the government was successful in obtaining them from China Exim Bank and many other parties.
Weather report.
The Met Department says shower weather condition is expected to enhance over most places of the island for the next few days, starting from today. Showers of thundershowers will occur at times in the eastern, northern and north-central provinces. Showers of thundershowers may occur at several places in other provinces of the island after 2 p.m. Fairly heavy showers above 75 mm are likely at some places in the eastern, Nuva, western and Sabaragaon provinces, the Gala and Mathura districts. The general public is kindly requested to take precautions to minimize damages caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightning during the thundershowers. This weather report was issued at 4:30 a.m. Further details can be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. That was weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. Some political parties and politically motivated groups are planning for a trade union action today with unfair demands. The President outlines plans to modernize the agriculture industry. An MOU will be signed between the Sir John Kothawala Defence University Hospital and the Health Ministry with the sole purpose of extending a better health service to the country. The Sports Minister is to make a special statement in Parliament today. The Agriculture Minister announces the price of MOP fertilizer further slashed. 2,238 Grammar Vidharis will be recruited after the 2nd of December exam. The Minister of Trade, Nalin Fernando, said the VAT tariffs will be reduced to 400 commodities during the festive season. In news overseas, Israel and Hamas hold third hostage prisoner swap. Hamas seeks pause extension. In sports news, Lankan marathoners excel in selection trial for international races. That concludes this news broadcast. You're with Radio Sri Lanka. Over to Sherry Fatahir on the other side this Monday morning as always. Over to you, Sherry.